Alright, I'm back, and this is my daily summary for Monday, July 26th, progress on the Excelsior. So the first thing I did is I started working on the shuttle bay. I'll show you that. So what I did is I put the pearlescent Aztecs on the shuttle bay today. And there you go. Did my best to get them aligned. I also, then I did pearlescent Aztecs on the end caps of each nacelle, front and rear. Rear and front. And also on each nacelle, I did the first tail fins. So this nacelle, the decal went on perfectly. No problems. This nacelle, the decal rolled over on itself, so I was forced to hand paint it. And maybe the bottom's supposed to be light blue, maybe it isn't. We'll find out. But it should darken to the appropriate color. Then I did the shuttle bay trim decals and that little table looking decal. I did the two Aztecs here. I did the two strong backs here. And that's all I did on that part of the neck. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I worked on the saucer section. So I did everything in the center. So even the center dome had a decal. Then the various windows and grill work of the center dome. Now you can really see the orange pearl there and the blue. Then I slowly did the Aztec paneling on the inner section. I might trim it out over the hatches later so I can see the hatch again unobscured. And over the phaser bumps, but that's only when it dries. Then I did the inner trench with the Aztec decals, and it seemed to work pretty well. Okay, and that's what I did. And then the final thing I did tonight was I did not only the Aztec along the top here, but I also did the Aztec on either side of the top nacelle strut. 111 was the shorter one, and it goes up here. 112 is the longer one, it goes below. So I'll show you how I marked up the guide. So first of all, I mark up the guide. So if on the Aztec guide, if I'm using the Aztec instructions, blue. If I have to use the model kit instructions, green. If I have to use the Federation models, pink. So you'll see that everything in here is, that's not supposed to be green at all. It's supposed to be blue because the kit doesn't have that. And I didn't use the ones from Federation models. So you can see how most of everything along the top is blue. And of course I added a fourth color hand painted because there's a few nacelle struts on the other side I had to hand paint. And of course I had to account for what I didn't use, decal 170 and decal 15, because they are for the NX. And I'll build that one at another time once I order another set of Aztec decals. It turns out the NX and the NCC have the same almost teal trim, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the light blue trim from the Federation models along with the Aztec decals and see if I can do it that way. So it'll be a slight blue difference, but it won't be the deep blue of the 24th century. And you can see here how I had to use the model kit the Aztec decals, model kit instructions. Okay, and then you flip the page over. And you can see how I haven't done much on the side at all. I've been focusing on the bottom. But I guess now I can label part 140 because I did that decal. There's that legend again. All right, and I did narrow down. So the turquoise blue is for those 24th century ships and both Excelsiors. Only the Valley Forge had dark blue strongbacks. And of course, you see how that decal folded onto itself, so I ended up detail painting that. And if you look over the decals, you see how I had to go in order. On the bottom secondary hull, I had to do 145 and 146, which fall in the trench, before I did 144. And I also made sure that I did 141 before 140, before 139, because I didn't want them to be disturbed. And then you can see all the saucer Aztecs and the one in the center that I used from the model kit. So and of course you see those windows? But you see how there's some of the windows inside the Aztec boundary? So I cannot do those windows, either using the kit decals or the Federation model decals, until the Aztecs are dry. And that's about all my progress on the Excelsior. And tomorrow I go and visit friends for a few days, so I won't be around to work on the Excelsior. So that'll give all the decals plenty of time to dry. And to give you one last pass over the... Oh, I also put in the impulse engines. They look quite nice, that deep red against the strongback color. I had to use the box art to figure out which way those impulse grills went. Oh, and another thing. You see in between the impulse engines how it's bare? You see up there how it's bare? You see how in the center, except for the windows, it's going to be bare. And then, of course, there's extra parts on the nacelles, perhaps. Well, what I can do is I can use the extra square of Aztec paneling to fill those spots. And also, on the top of the impulse engines, there's nothing except one stripe, like an Aztec up there also. And I'm not going to put the shuttle bay on the ship until those decals are completely dry. I needed to have the shuttle bay top roof off there so I could put them on properly. But all in all, I'm quite happy, and when I get back, I'm going to try the decals, and just by a happy coincidence, where this stripe ends and tapers, same place the decal one does. And it should dry, because if you look at the hatch, see the color of the hatch? It's still slightly blue. That's why I want to cut it out and try again. It's just not... No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's the same color after all. It's just that this looks so dark alone. To my eye, it looks a lot darker than it is on camera. And those two look different colors. But anyway, that's pretty good, and I'm glad I narrowed down that both the NX and the NCC Excelsior have the same color of strongbacks, roughly. However, you read on Memory Alpha how the NCC Excelsior strongbacks were painted more a teal color and not a light blue. The Jack's Hacks Creations came in a light blue for the 1400 scale ship, so I'll use those. But for the NX kit, I'm going to use the Federation Models one, which are a blue, not as teal as this blue. And they have different details for everything. But anyway, that's about all I have for today. And I probably won't do another video again until next Sunday, because I'm probably traveling back on Saturday, so won't do any building that day. And that's about it for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video and this tour of the Aztecing. Oh, and from now on, I'm going to make daily summary videos. So instead of bits throughout the day that then I have to put together. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this daily summary video, and the next day that I have some model building that I've accomplished, or well, decaling now, I will do another video. Talk to you all later and have a good week.